the world of Hollywood, stories are often shaped by glamour, fame, and glittering lights. But every once in a while, a story emerges that refuses to remain within the boundaries of entertainment. A story that begins in the spotlight, but ends in a place far quieter, far deeper, and far more human. This is the journey of Richard Gere, a man celebrated across the world, yet searching for something the world could not give him. Born in 1949 in Philadelphia, Richard Gere grew up in a simple family, far from the glamour he would later encounter. He was bright, thoughtful, and talented, especially in music and acting. But beneath his calm demeanor was a curious mind, a mind always drawn toward the deeper questions of life. When Richard entered Hollywood in the 1970s, he quickly became a rising star. With every film, his popularity grew not just in America, but worldwide. Movies like American Gigolo, An Officer and a Gentleman, and later, Pretty Woman, made him one of the most recognized faces on the planet. People saw charm, elegance, confidence, but inside, Gere felt something very different. Despite the fame, he experienced a quiet emptiness, a feeling that success alone could never satisfy. He once said that even at the peak of his career, he felt a sense of confusion about who he really was and what he truly wanted from life. This inner discomfort pushed him toward a path very few in Hollywood dared to walk: a spiritual search. During his early acting years, Gere discovered Buddhist philosophy through books on Zen. These teachings spoke about the nature of the mind, the reality of suffering, and the possibility of peace through inner transformation. They didn't ask him to believe blindly. They asked him to explore. This openness resonated with him. He felt that Buddhism wasn't telling him what to think. It was showing him how to understand his own mind. A seed was planted, a longing for clarity, purpose, and compassion. By the early 1980s, that longing grew stronger. Hollywood's noise, parties, and compliments felt meaningless. So Richard Gere made a decision few expected. He left the world of cameras and traveled to the Himalayas. It was in Nepal and India that he first encountered Tibetan monks, temples, and refugee communities. He saw people who had lost their country, their homes, their freedoms, yet carried an unbelievable strength of spirit. Their calmness, their joy, their compassion moved him deeply. He felt that these people, despite their suffering, had discovered something precious. In Dharamshala, the home of the Tibetan exile community, Richard Gere experienced a turning point that would redefine his life. He met the spiritual leader of Tibet, His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama. Gere walked into the room expecting wisdom, but what he saw first was warmth, a genuine smile, humility, and a playful sense of humor. Their conversation lasted hours. Gere asked questions about fear, loneliness, purpose, and inner peace. The Dalai Lama answered not like a philosopher, but like a compassionate teacher speaking directly to the human heart. Gere later said that meeting the Dalai Lama was like seeing the world through new eyes. He felt a shift, not dramatic, not loud, but a quiet understanding that this path of compassion was the one he had been searching for all his life. From that moment, Richard Gere didn't just admire Buddhism, he embraced it. He became a serious practitioner of Tibetan Buddhist teachings. He studied texts, practiced meditation daily, and attended teachings whenever possible. Buddhism stopped being an interest. It became his way of life. But this transformation didn't distance him from the world. Instead, it made him more human, more open, more compassionate. He began to see life not through the lens of an actor, but through the eyes of someone trying to reduce suffering, in himself and in others. His bond with the Dalai Lama grew stronger with time. They formed a relationship based on sincerity and mutual respect. The Dalai Lama once said about him, "He is my friend, not because he is famous, but because he is sincere." This sincerity soon guided Gere toward a new responsibility, speaking for Tibet. As he learned more about Tibet's history, its struggle, and the suffering of its people under oppression, Gere felt compelled to act. He became a global advocate for Tibetan rights. He used his voice, his influence, and his platform not for personal gain, but for justice. He addressed world governments, appeared in human rights conferences, supported Tibetan refugee schools, and became the chairman of the International Campaign for Tibet. His activism made him a target for powerful opponents, and China banned him from entering the country. Hollywood projects involving China became difficult for him. But Gere remained firm. He chose compassion over career, truth over convenience. He said, "If I lose roles for speaking about suffering, that is a small price to pay." Even as his activism grew, Gere continued his daily spiritual practice. He meditated every morning and evening, studied Buddhist philosophy deeply, and lived a simple, quiet lifestyle, despite being a global star. To Gere, Buddhism was not an escape. It was a grounding force. It taught him that happiness is not something we chase in the world. It is something we build within ourselves. Today, Richard Gere stands as one of the most respected figures in Hollywood, not just for his acting, but for his integrity. He remains close to the Dalai Lama, supports humanitarian projects worldwide, and continues to spread messages of compassion, kindness, and non-violence. Through his journey, Richard Gere reminds us of a profound truth. Success can give you applause, but only wisdom can give you peace. Fame can illuminate your face, but only compassion can illuminate your heart. In the end, his life is not just the story of a celebrity. It is the story of a seeker who found meaning in the place most people never look, within. Richard Gere walked away from the noise of the world to discover the silence that transforms it. He walked away from glamour to understand the nature of suffering. He walked away from superficial praise to embrace genuine compassion. And through this journey, he found what the greatest teachers of humanity have always taught: that true peace does not come from what we gain, but from what we learn to let go. This is the life of Richard Gere, a man who discovered that the most powerful journey is not the one across the world, but the one into the human soul.